Hey, what's going on everybody? Today I wanted to make a miniature guide on how to use the new Pokemon Garganacl. This Pokemon's really cool in the sense that it has a brand new exclusive ability called Purifying Salt and a brand new signature move called Salt Cure. So I think this Pokemon is best used defensively because of its stats. It has base 100 HP, 130 defense, and 90 special defense, which is pretty crazy and makes this Pokemon really capable to tank a lot of moves and a lot of damage. So I think that a careful nature is the best to run on this Pokemon. However, if you wanted to use it under Trick Room, I'd suggest a sassy nature. So the moves here I think are the best for Garganacl because it utilizes Iron Defense and Body Press. So if you don't know how Body Press works, this attack uses the Pokemon's defense stat instead of its attack stat to calculate how much damage it will do. And this move is already an 80 base power move. And not only that, but you can increase the power by using Iron Defense. This increases Garganacl's defense stat by 2 stages. So ultimately when you use this move, you're increasing your defense stat and helping you live longer, and also increasing your offenses and body press. So this Pokemon is just very tanky and very powerful at the same time. It's got this brand new signature move too called Salt Cure, and this kind of does damage over time, sort of like Fire Spin or Whirlpool. It doesn't trap like those two moves, but it does 1/8 max HP every turn. And if it's a Steel type or a Water type, this does 1/4. So a lot of the Pokemon that like to switch into this, maybe a Dondozo or a strong Steel type, they can't really stay in very long because they're taking so much damage from Salt Cure. And on top of that, the brand new ability, Purifying Salt, is pretty crazy too because this Pokemon's immune to status. So Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, especially toxic for tanking, totally ineffective against Garganacl. And if that wasn't enough, this ability also adds a resistance to Ghost, which is so crazy. I wouldn't recommend using Sturdy or Clear Body because this ability, Purifying Salt, is just so good. So even it's just a pure rock type, and it's weak to a lot of things like grass, fighting, ground, which is very common in the metagame. I found the best way to counter this is to just change your Terra type to flying. So this adds a ground immunity, a resistance to Bullet Seed, Mach Punch. This Pokemon actually does very well against Breloom, because if you add that flying type, you can't really hit you with Bullet Seed or Mach Punch, and your ability makes you immune to Spore. So ultimately, it can't really touch Garganacl, and it just makes it even easier to set up Iron Defenses. So this Pokemon is just very, very, very defensively capable. If you don't want to run Terra type flying, you could do Fairy for things like Chi-Yu. So you can just kind of eat up Dark Pulses, but I think flying is definitely the way to go here. For some of your item choices, I really like to run Leftovers just to help myself set up some Iron Defenses. But if you wanted to, another good option would be Heavy Duty Boots, so you don't take so much damage from Stealth Rocks or even Spikes. Toxic Spikes wouldn't really do anything to you because of your ability, but I would recommend Leftovers. I think another good option if you wanted to run it is Rocky Helmet, which will damage the user, not the user, your opponent, if they hit you with a contact move. But like I said, I think Leftovers is the best choice. You could do something crazy if you wanted to with maybe a weakness policy or even a choice band if you wanted. You could run something like Heavy Slam, Explosion, but I think this here is definitely the best set. And I mean, if you didn't want to run these moves, you're not really a fan of using Iron Defense, you could maybe just run Stealth Rock here, make things switch out using Salt Cure. You just kind of stack that hazard damage, or you could even use something like Block, and that'll prevent your target from switching out. Then you just whittle it down with Salt Cure, you just click Recover, and you can pretty much stall your opponent until they get knocked out. But I definitely recommend this set. This set has been doing lots of great things for me. And if you need a teammate for this guy, something that it pairs very, very well with is Garchomp. Because, I mean, you can kind of chip with Rough Skin, but you could set up Stealth Rock, you could set up Spikes, you could maybe even get a little bit of hazard damage, making things switch out with Dragon Tail. And then once all your hazards are set up, you go into Garganacl and you kind of just force things out with Salt Cure because nothing wants to stay in and take that chip damage. So ultimately, this Pokemon is very tanky. It's practically unkillable if you use this set, and it'll do really, really nice things for your team. Whether you're playing singles, doubles, VGC, it's good in really any format, and even on an in-game team, this Pokemon puts in a lot of work. So I'm thinking I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I will have some replays featuring this Pokemon at the end, but I hope you get some good use out of this Pokemon and maybe you learned how to use Garganacl. Thank you for watching.